remove HD for a bit here now.
I'm thinking. You said you're using OBS.
No, I don't know. I turned that on just to see if it was was something. But I have another video cam. I can try that one and see.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's but it's just bizarre.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I can be green. You can still hear me.
Yeah, true.
Me and Mark are watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I see that, man. Hang on there just for a minute until we get this figured out, if you don't mind. That's good you got sound. Yeah, we got a tech issue of some sort. And it's completely green in Zoom. So
yeah, I've gone NVG here.
Yeah, so I'm going to speed this up here and cut through some... Yeah, but you don't see the main screen yet, where the Anna's embedded into Zoom is green, but Tim is not. So,
could it be her camera?
Well, it's when she first comes on, the color's right, and then a second later it turns her entirely green. So
when I see it on my end, it all looks good all the time, so I can't.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that somehow you have a green screen, a faux green screen up somehow. That's my guess. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Could be wrong here.
We'll see here. I'm just going to put the other camera, webcam.
Something like that. She may be channeling David Banner. Well, we're coming on now.
It's a communist plot.
Yeah, it's something, man. Tim, I appreciate you hopping on. That kind of solved, eliminated some things. But, we'll figure this out. Because she wasn't green last night. What's up, Tom? All right, reboot Zoom. That sounds good. All right, sounds good. I really think she's got her green screen of virtual set. Working it out. Yeah, she's restarting now and coming back in right now. So let's see.
Okay, so do you still need me?
Yeah, just stick around for another minute here.
I'm just trying to watch the movie.
Regular. See, the first minute you are not. The first second you are right, and then you go all green. That is so bizarre.
Okay. Now.
What's that?
It's not green now.
She's not green now on your end?
Right.
She's green on my end.
Yeah, that means that it's something that happens in XSplit.
But I'm not. It's Zoom. It's not XSplit because Tim is.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim is not. All right, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to go with
live with me being green.
Well, wait a minute. When I double tap on her screen to make it does turn green.
Yeah.
When I have it in gallery view, it's not green. But when I make her primary.
And speaker view, she's not green.
She just didn't turn. Now
there we go. All right, I got it. I fixed it.
Okay.
I went to. There you go. I went to speaker view and then went back to gallery view and it cleared itself. Who the heck knows? So it was Zoom.
Something weird. Yeah.
All right, Tim. Thanks, man.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see. I'm switching camera now and see if that.
All right, that's good. You're good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Worked it out 1 minute past.
Yeah, we're running a little late, everyone here. Sorry about that. We're coming on. Wow. Whoops. I just hit the wrong button too, but that's okay. We're cutting through things. That wrong button actually works tonight.
To log into the chat.
I was attempting to shout out David and I hit a wrong button. All right, so my brain is frazzled. Now you're green again. thought we had it, and it's some kind of. Now she's green again. You're green again.
Okay, I have the green sickness from time to time.
That is bizarre. She's green again.
Okay.
Well, it's not on your end, then. It's got to be.
Yeah, because am I green for you, Alan?
Yes.
Okay.
Now she's not.
Okay,
She's still for
good.
me.
See, there's something that happens with
And you know what it is? It's when you're talking. Alan,
when
talk.
I'm talking.
Alan, talk. And Anna, stay silent. That's it. Her highlight is highlighting her entire picture, not going around the box. That's
But
what it
it's
is.
staying green for me the whole time.
She's not green now because she's not talking. Wow.
Okay.
Now she's not green.
She's green for me, though, Jay.
That's so bizarre. See, when she talks, she goes green.
No, she's green
Okay, so
when she's not talking.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That is bizarre. All right, well, there's not much we're gonna. You're gonna have to go with the
I have a
green Anna
green screen.
tonight.
I turn on the green screen. Now I have the green screen on.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything.
Something is set that spotlight on everyone. Remove spotlight.
Okay.
Something
well,
is
yeah.
up with something is up so that when you're in gallery view, wow. That's bizarre. All right, well, we're just gonna have to. Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna have to persevere with it tonight and hope that it's some kind of bizarre Zoom issue.
Yeah.
Did you try to log in again?
Yeah,
Yes,
she tried
tried that,
that.
and
I
it
rebooted my
both ends.
system.
Yeah. And I logged in and I changed my camera.
See, when Anna's highlighted as the talker, she turns green. When she's not, that's when she goes off. That's exactly
No,
what
she's
it
all green for me when she's not talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not, yeah. All right, well, we're just going to live with it tonight and make the best of it, everyone, right?
Have fun, kids.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Wow. So you're not green now, Anna, and then
So when I talk, I can turn green.
if you're the only one on, we may get lucky. All right, I don't know. I don't know. She's
Okay,
not green
yeah.
now. Wow, this is
Oh
fun.
yes, I'm not green.
You're not
Yay,
green right
I'm
now.
not green.
You're not green right now. But when we have multiple talkers on, who knows? And then it highlights
Yeah.
between them.
Okay,
Wow.
we'll see.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it works
crazy
for the
time.
moment.
Hey, Lonely Yeti, what's going on, everyone? So, I hope we have a fun discussion tonight. I may be all over the place again tonight with this
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
this is more. It's more than I bit off more than I could chew. Everyone, right? So, welcome. I'm Jake Alorgazumba, and the great Anna Myers with me tonight, and we're going
Hey,
to talk.
I've turned green back and forth. So
Wow,
might
that was
happen.
weird.
We'll see.
Yeah, that was bizarre. We'll figure
Yeah.
that out in the future. I know people are still coming on.
Yeah.
So, campaign plotline updates tonight. And by the way, there's my nice, beautiful model Nadine showing off the new Lord Gazumba T-shirt with a workout shirt. Probably tonight we're going to do a Troller Games giveaway, but I probably can be convinced to give away another one of these tonight as well. So they got the first shipment in. What's that?
Cursor on my, I'm trying to catch your mouse cursor on my nose. Yeah.
Oh, is that mine? Oh, I'm sorry. See,
yeah,
I
it's
always.
yours. No problem.
I'm
I just wondered
frazzled.
what it was.
I'm
It was like
frazzled.
something on the screen, and I realized it's your mouse cursor.
Thank
so
you,
it was
Gaetano, for that, and thank
Yeah.
you there, Greg, for the sub. Both of you, I really appreciate it. So, all right, you have. Yeah, man, it was no problem coming on, and you please shout out your channel. I don't have a shout out built in yet, Wu-Tang, but put your channel in there. Greyhawk Tales, we got a new Twitch channel, and need to get him to affiliate. What do you got, like 20 followers now? So let's get him up to 50.
Wow.
So go over there and give him a follow. They had a good Greyhawk game going
Yeah.
on Sunday, so please throw the shout out in there. No problem at all for that. So everyone run over to there and please hit him up with yeah, go for it, man. Throwing a shout out up there. Right? Hey, any Greyhawk channel, we want to get them, we want to get it to affiliate and get more participation in the audience. So, You got Wu-Tang on there. You got Wiley on there. You got Geek Dice on there playing. So you got some old school, that were participants. Greyhawk channel. Wiley's got his own channel. He plays in that game too. We're trying, man. So I only think you got one stream a week right now. What's up, Bill? How are you tonight? We're keeping things rolling. So, all right, yeah, throw that shout out in there, link to your channel, and let's have everyone go there. Good, Grape. Thank you. Probably it's a new channel, Mac. You're ahead of the game. Look, there it goes. You just went green. We don't have any idea, anyone, what the heck's going on. It's got to be some bizarre Zoom problem tonight.
Yep.
We just don't know. But
I go green at times to time.
Anna's going to be green at half the time, and we have no idea. Yep. So go there to Greyhawk Tales and get him over to 50 followers he needs, please.
Report it to Zoom or something.
Wow, that is crazy. So. Yep. Tonight, I'm going to try to ignore the greenness that's coming up and talk about all the areas in the campaign and what's going on and what's maybe we had up to 2020 and what's coming on in 2021. How's that sound? Yeah, so Anna's in night vision mode, everyone. Just
oh yes,
note that,
I'm in NVG mode. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First things first. Here, you want to look at the Greyhawk Mega Stream event. Now that Carlos is over, check it out. February 19th and 20th. That link goes to the lurkers on my Facebook where the schedule is. I'll have it scrolling through here too. And happens to Dylan and Prayers Rejects. Yeah, there's all sorts of bizarre things. So we know it's not localized to. I'll send in a ticket to Zoom and just and see what happens with them afterwards. Hey DM, good to see you. All right, where should we start?
Yeah,
where should we start?
Many things going on in your campaign.
All right, so that means we got to start in the Shieldlands, Anna. So
okay, yeah.
So here's what's going on. We're just going to go place to place. And I'll have some maps up. I'll have larger maps up of the area, so we'll bounce back and forth and discuss those as we go. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, Shieldlands first, because we're right in the middle of an adventure here. We have exactly a real high Sinlu.
Oh yeah, I'm down under dark. Yep.
In 20, oh gosh, man, now I'm having another bizarrity here. 1 second. Oh my gosh, it's just one of those nights. Okay, there we go. In 2020, we started Trials of the Legion, which is an area. The Legion is an adventuring group, one of the most powerful ones we have, and they have and it's hard to see on this map. And let me see if I can blow it up on number 11 here. Yeah. Oh. So, and I went right by it, of course. I always do that. The Shieldlands, if you go to the far left of this map and you see Warmark over here on the Retenza River, right on the border of the Free Reavers lands and Kinset Mansion, those are both the holdings of the Legion. And we kind of we're doing a 5-part series on about the Legion. Well, we did 4 parts all the way through like March or April of last year. Then we stopped and we just never got to it. COVID hit and all sorts of other crazy things happened. And we were all over the place. And we're looking to get a bunch of new. Yeah, exactly. Anna's been on and off with. She's going to try and we don't know what it is. It's almost like every time she talks, it goes green.
Yeah, so. I'm from a cloud kill spell.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. So, and we had an idea to get a whole bunch of new ruins in, and we weren't doing 3D printing yet, and so I just held off on it till now, and we did our first week. So we're in the 5th and final large, scenario, and they have traveled from, and it's called Radiant Fork, which you can see above the A in Shieldlands. And it's renamed from, I think it used to be called East Fork. And if you remember in my campaign, if if you remember my campaign, we have Fultians all through certain areas because the land is wide open. It's kind of like after plagues when there's no one around because everyone's dead. Well, in the Ayus Wars, a lot of the Shieldlanders are dead, so a lot of Fultians have come down. The land's much more fertile further south than it is in your wonderful land of the Pale, and so they've come in, and this is kind of a fun start to 2021. Lots of high level hacking and fighting and slashing and fighting demons, and I've tied in it's called Crossing into Steel, and I've tied in.
I know what it is. It's the new NVIDIA driver.
Really?
Yep.
On your end?
Googled it. Yep, I just updated to the video drivers and I saw it on Reddit. That's the issue.
Okay.
I'll see if they
it's a
can
new
find
NVIDIA driver and an old one?
A new one. I updated the NVIDIA driver yesterday because so.
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Maybe, can you revert back to an old one?
That's what I'm looking. So please continue.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. I don't feel. At least we know what the issue is now.
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome. So try disabling hardware acceleration for sending video. I think she already tried that. Sure.
No, I haven't tried that yet. I'm just trying to figure out where I can find that setting. So yeah.
She's gonna try doing that too.
Yeah. So that's.
You have an oligarchy of rulers in the occupied and freed Shieldlands area, and the three of them: Leda, Katarina, Walworth is one. The Alive, Valderesta Sharn is number 2, and David Gradavis the third is number 3. And David Gradavis is a PC, but Marco hasn't played in about a year, but that's his character. And this is kind of culminated all together with they have to go out to the ruins of David's family's estate, flip back to the map, the big map here, and it will show you. And that's the and thanks once again. I am spoiled. I have Anna edits and all my maps here. It really, if you go to Ringland, where there's a big battle going on right now between Ayu's forces and a large Knight of the Holy Shielding army, and that was discussed during the adventure, and part of the group went off that way. The Gradavis estate is out further to the northeast. You can see it's way out there, and it's gray because it was destroyed. So that's where the adventure is taking place. Now, like I said, I've tied this into a canon. Sure, like I said, I'm really lucky and blessed. Tied it into canon here for an adventure, and I've had this idea for a long time. I don't want to give it away, but why? But
there we go. I fixed it.
All right. Well, Anna, it's good to see that that it was something simple.
Yep.
All I'll say is this: if you have this, you can get a little tidbit of what I'm doing. All right. So it's called Crossing into Steel is the sub name of this adventure. Isn't that better? Much better. Oh, you know what? See, this is where I'm so frazzled. Well, all you great people that are on, let's do this, and let's set the giveaway up tonight. We're doing at least one Troller Games gift certificate again, and then maybe some other. If we have some repeats, I may have to do some other ones. All right, so Big Mac, you're gonna love this tie-in because the great thing about Crossing into Steel, it's not set in specific towns in the Shieldlands, but it's set in the Shieldlands. So I have tied it into the story of the Gradavis family. Hey, Time Lord's wife, good to see you. As our audience keeps on building up here.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity here to take something that is really cool idea and tie it right into the campaign that we're doing, and then just move on from that. So a little hint, foreboding in a positive way, a foreshadowing of what's going on. Let me just skip by the characters for a second. And if you watch Thursday night, it's a massive fight. The train looks very similar, Anna, doesn't it, from last night? Except it's
Yep.
Oh, by the way, how did you have a blast last night?
Oh yeah, that was great. Yep.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch last night,
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, please go on the vids. There's 2 vids because we had a disconnect like with 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
It
Something.
just
Yeah.
was, yeah, I think it was high band.
Yeah, but we
Zoom
only
got
lost like 30 seconds, and then we were back up again.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
quick.
So Greyhawk cannon battles would be a good idea for you. It is cold. There's a lot of great ways we can go.
That is a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah.
Definitely a lot of really cool
Yeah.
things that we can discuss, and we got to redo the Battle of Emerald meadows again in Legends of
Yeah.
Laura Gabbin. Maybe I should do it in reference to what happened in our game.
Yeah.
So they're fighting 2 Bonehearts lessers. One has appeared, one hasn't. I'm telling you, I had them right in this fight. As you can see where that fire elemental is, I had the 2 mages. I had the fire elementalist and one of the wild mages dead to rights. And then the wild mage on their side named Void, new member of the Lesser Boneheart. The halfling female that got wild surged and turned from a human male to a halfling female in 2 separate surges. Yeah, it wouldn't be Gitano. Cast a Legolas Weird Wild Ball. It's from a Great Net Spellbook spell, and there's 20 different effects. You can have fire, ice, dust, smoke.
We know how. Yeah, you showed us how wild mage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I look down. First of all, I rolled 4 levels higher, so we're going at 19 die 6 now, probably. I'm like, oh, I got them. I roll a 17. So I'm like, oh shit! And then you see, if you watch on the stream, I go a 17. Oh, you got to be kidding me! I think a 17 is positive, which is healing, except against undead. So I healed them all up, and then I healed the NPC up to almost 200%. It was just so bad luck for bad guys deserve bad luck, right? There she is on the top of the tower.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's just. That was a previous adventure, DM. That was just recently. Yeah, that was the adventure before. Mm-hmm. So, with that, I want to show you something. We'll go to the back here. That may be getting replaced this Thursday with this by Infinite Dimensions and Build-A-Master Crafter, who's working on it. Ooh. All right, so he's working on this is our latest Infinite Dimensions 3D print. So it's called the Ruined Rookery. It's by a great company. One of our it's funny. So but that's part of the wonder and the charm of the game, and that's why I love the wild magic so much. I love it because you can have something disastrous happen or something very good happen. And normally when I play them, it backfires on me. So, but that's why I like using them. Yeah. And that's where we are with that. And there's mist around a body of water behind the ruined manor house. So you'll get to see that what that is all about. Probably the week after next. But what book is Wild Magic in? Go to Tome of Magic in 2E. Yeah. Okay. Sure. And there's level variation tables. And if you want to play one in a computer game, go to Beamdog's Enhanced Baldur's Gate 2. They add a wild mage named Nira in it. So, and all those crazy effects can actually happen in the computer game. Some of them, I mean, whichever ones they can program in. Yeah. So, in my game, they have to be straight class. You can't multi-class wild mages. You can't dual class wild mages. Can they cold? I didn't know that. There was. Are there surge tables and all that? I don't know enough about 5e, but I know one thing. A lot of my players are scared to play the wild mage because of that craziness that happens. It just is. But
it sounds fun but risky. Yeah.
It is because every time you cast a spell, even if it's a detect magic, there's a 1 in 20 chance of a surge going off. So. Yeah, so that's cool, Max. But that's kind of harmless compared to having your sex and your race changed. Like Walt's character Darvin, his background, he's an elf, and he's one of the 2. There's 2 wild mage PC/NPCs in the party, and he's an elf, but he has all his hair fell out and his skin's red from a surge. So that's how the character even started off. So yeah, 2 feet of hair. I mean, it's really funny. It really is a funny thing. So this should be set up. Let me just double check this. All right, we're good. We're getting some good sign-ups for this. So beyond this, I usually have like the smaller adventures determine what happens in the big battle, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that yet in its entirety. Um, but I like having not knowing myself what I'm going to do in the Shieldlands beyond this adventure.
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
successful in crossing into Steel, the adventure part of it, there is a sequel to it in Treasures of Greyhall. It's called Face of Xenos. I'm definitely going to run that. It's down the road,
Yeah.
probably June, July, or August. So they are, aren't they? They're just fun. They're fun, and like I said, I was banging my head against the table on Thursday night with that positive energy
Yeah.
spell, but you know that's the way it goes.
Yeah. I was thinking, what have you done with Shieldland? Meaning, is Shieldland intact, not invaded by IUs or
Oh,
Bandit
it's
Kingdoms?
40%. It's 40% recovered right now, and the IUs.
Uh-huh.
So,
So IUs had invaded it, like in the
oh
Greyhawk
yeah, in
Wars
front of
and
the
stuff. So,
ashes,
yeah.
and then they took back
Yeah.
Crit Wall. Then they took back
Yeah.
Walrus Isle. So if you look at this map here, okay, and if you see from Warmark, which is on the far left, all right, and you draw down to Fort Vigilance, okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and then you draw south to, if you go like directly east almost to the Drake Estate, and then you do like a little, it would be like an isthmus up to Walrus Crossing and Homer Hold, almost like a middle finger,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
down to Radiant Fork. Ringland's an area out on its own, right? Because of the towers there. If you
Mhm.
know in the Markland, if you know what happens about Ringland and Marklands, that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. That, and then go downward from there. That's the area that is kind of recovered. Axeport's recovered in my game,
Yeah.
so
So
I
you're
know
ahead of
yours is
me. I
way
haven't.
different.
Oh yeah, I haven't recovered. They have only recovered the Critwell area up to West Keep and then down to South Keep roughly, and
Right.
the Woolworth Isle and the Scraggle Mile. That's it. Yeah. So
Well,
far, but we'll
that's
see
still
what
a
happens.
lot. I mean, that's
Yeah,
compared.
it's they have a and so they have a firm foothold now. So and now it's up to see what happens in my campaign. I don't know that yet.
Why don't you just talk about yours a little bit here? What's going on with your 0 level characters? It sounds real interesting.
Yeah, they started in a small village of Aldet that is between Critwall and Export. So the characters are, we've only run a couple of sessions so far, so they are living in that village, and it's behind, they're run by a bunch of 3 Iusian priests that run it, and they've had a really harsh regime up to now, but there are not that many villages left, so they can't be as hard on people and kill as many anymore because there are not hardly anyone left to kill. So they now have to kind of be a little bit softer on things just to make sure that their village is not going to go extinct, because that will lose faith in the high up, so to speak, because their purpose is to make sure that the village is there as a staging post, and it's a keep, and they need some people to run it and to feed them and stuff. So that's a situation when we start in the winter of 98, 99, so to speak. And the characters don't know much what's going on in the world so far, but now what happened right now is that a couple of the Ayusian priests with some of their thugs have left the village to go and collect some what they called guests, and the characters have figured out that because they had to help prepare for the guests, and they realized, they understood from the one priest that is still there, that it meant that they had to clean up the shackles and make sure that the cages in the bottom of one of the keeps in the village to handle the guests, so to speak. So they realized those are prisoners or hostages or something that the Iusians have captured somewhere, and they're going to come back to the village. But that's basically the short version of the story so far. And then we'll see from there, because there's like a whole bunch of things going on. You have the Axport is now actually being leased out by IUs to a baron from a merchant house called Seren in Greyhawk, because he needs the money, and he's and he also wants to start trading with the rest of the world, and he also knows that the rest of the world thinks he's so toxic they don't want to deal with him. So that's why he wants to introduce some sort of intermediary, and a greedy merchant family from Greyhawk have realized that that might be a business opportunity, so they're jumping on it. But the character that hasn't affected the village yet. We'll see if it will. So that's the basis of the story, so to speak.
So Anna's so hardcore. It's been 3 sittings for you.
Yep.
There's still 0 level.
Oh yeah, there's still 0 level, and they have barely learned the skill. We played 2 days in campaign time in three
Yeah.
sessions.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's hardcore. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Um, there a Pathfinder 2 stream. I don't. Well, you
I
should
think
check
there are some
on the channel. The Pathfinder channel is probably where you
Yeah,
want to
they
go
have a
for
few
that. Yeah.
official ones. They have at least 2, I think, that are official streams. They've had more, but they have at least 2 official streams from Paizo, I think, that's going on, and that you can kind of see the rules and stuff.
So
I use a slight adaptation of the rules. I've changed a few rules and tweaked some of the classes and stuff to fit into Greyhawk, but that's basically it. And I've added some spells and stuff, so we have the familiar. But most of the standard D&D spells are already in Pathfinder, so that's not a difference. I've just added spells, IUCN spells, and specialty pre-spells and stuff, and I made cleric versions for several of the gods and stuff. But there's already specialized clerics in PF2, so it's kind of prepared. You can just plug in whatever god you want and give them special domain spells and stuff.
So it's a good question. What a 0 level character is.
It's characters that are aspiring to become something. So they
Yeah.
basically have to start learning skills. And the way I do it is that it takes 10 learning points in order to figure out how to do something, whether it's learning a spell or use a weapon or increase an ability or whatever. So they basically have to work a day on figure something out. And if they don't know anything, then you basically have to roll 20 on a d20 die in order to do it, and you get the ability bonus or penalty, which means that if you just sit at home and say, I want to learn a cantrip, it's almost impossible. But if you've seen someone cast a cantrip, then you get a +2, or you know something about cantrips, you've seen it in action and so on, then you get a +2 on the roll. And also if you have someone that can teach you, that gets more bonus on the roll, so to speak. So to have a tutor and gain first-hand experience somehow, that gives you a plus on the roll. And then if you manage to roll 20, meaning you sit at home and you work on trying to learn that damn cantrip every day for a month, and you manage to roll 20, and you have like an intelligence of +1, so you manage to roll 19 or 20, and you get that, meaning then you're 1 step ahead towards, you learn 10% the way to understand that cantrip. And that means that next time you have a +1 on the roll. So the DC goes from 20 down to 10. So the last bit are easy. It's the first bit. But if you get a trainer or someone, a tutor that can teach you, then it's fairly easy. Then anyone can, and then you can basically spend a week with a tutor and you don't have to roll. You just get 10 weeks with a tutor and you can learn anything, so to speak.
So Anna's playing it hardcore. Anna's doing it at hardcore.
Yeah, it's very hardcore. Yep,
which is really cool.
Yep. Yep.
Look forward to getting updates on those stories. So the town is run by a priest of Ayus.
Oh yeah, there's 3 priests. Kershenk is a 5th level priest of Ayus. He's the head priest of the, and they called Elderman because the empire is the old empire and he's the old one, so they're called Elderman. And they, so Ayus have planted priests and his henchmen in every village and town and stuff that are still in existence, and they're called Eldermen. So they run things, and their basic duty is to man the keep and make sure that no one else conquers the village. And the problem is that they had such a harsh regime that there are only like 20 people left in the village, and that meant that Kershenk, the new Ayusian priest that got there, he realized that he can't go around killing everybody, so he has to kind of make the village function a little bit. So that's and the characters are teenagers in the village that is having aspirations generations of becoming things and learning things and doing things. So they have to maneuver in a kind of a harsh environment, and it's poor, and now it's winter and cold, and they have no winter gear, so they risk freezing to death if they go out in the wilderness and do stuff. So, and they will be given missions and tasks, and then they have to decide if they want to brave it and simply walk away from the village and do something. So it's kind of a dire situation, but it's a little bit of a post-apocalyptic game to start with, and
Yeah.
then when they get a level and gain a class and get a level, they get more powerful, and then if they want to, they get rid of the damn priest and run the village if they want to, or
Until
strike
something
out
else
and
comes
do something
along.
else. Yes, or do something else. So yeah.
So one last thing on this adventure. If you see this picture here, the older lady, that's a Santher in the crossing into Steel, and they're protecting her, and they got to get her behind that manor house there. There's all the mist. You can't see it in that picture, but it's all illuminated on the stream. So, yay! What's up there, Canadian? Good to see you, man. Good to see you,
Yeah,
Patrick.
okay.
Thanks for all the support last night from everyone, Zarathon,
Yeah.
and all the other people who did
Yep.
cheers. They needed them, but it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
really fun game last night. So, all right, let's. I want to talk about something I really haven't gone over, and that is how the hell do you know what's going on in the Order of Ulek? So, and then we'll split it out from there because I really never have discussed this. First thing, this is all the adventures we did in 2020. I showed this on the year in review. Trials of Legions, the first one in 2021. So the plan is this: 898 this upcoming Thursday, and then the next Thursday. 899. I'm going to go back to the Principality of Ulek, Pomar's border, and run something for the group called the Bloodied Brethren / the First Ulek Pathfinders. All right.
I don't think I've ever heard about them before.
Well, that's the one that Tom has his half ogre in Kren, so you may have.
Okay.
And here, so that is this is Warmonger's Tower. This is another Bill Craft. I mean, look at the side. Look at this thing. We haven't used it enough, and it's on the map. So and that's Garth Warmonger, Allen's character's keep. That's the half orc fighter cleric, whose motto is "There's not a thing alive that can kick my ass." So.
Ooh, mhm. Yep. That
Yeah.
sounds like there will be high level adventuring in with that party.
I hope so. But that group is like 5th and 6th level, and
Oh,
they'll
okay.
be
So,
summoned to do
they're
something.
starting to be lethal then. Yeah.
They're
Or at least they think so.
they at least they think so, and that'll be adventure 899. Let me see if I can just throw up some larger stuff here,
Yeah.
there, I'll leave that map up. It'll show. How many episodes into the future do you have them planned out? This year, that's a great question, Grape. I'm gonna go over that in a second. I had to plan out this year for all the stuff that's going on, and that's where the point was going on this year. Very perceptive. So we're gonna go back and run, and this is an Order of Ulek area mission. This is an Order of Ulek keep. It's his keep, but as you can see, Alan built a lit up illuminated tower. There's a spot for his wyvern mount, everything on this piece. It'd probably be in wintertime though. I always like putting even though it's far south, there's something weird with the winter, and they're having unusually cold winters in the Principality, which
Yeah.
they probably shouldn't. So they haven't
Yeah.
tried to figure that out yet.
Yeah. But
Um,
Earth has 30-degree axial tilt. That
So
means
it can-
that some winter the seasons are more pronounced than they are
Yeah, that's a
on
huge
Earth,
amount
so
of a
to speak.
tilt.
So yeah, that's 7
Absolutely.
degrees more. So that means that winters are colder, and so the seasonal differences are larger in the Flanneys or on Earth than they are in the real world. So
That's a great point. So if you go to this map here and just that's probably look north. Okay, so you go to this map here, you see to the east, you see Winchester's bulwark. That's Andre Winchester's keep, and you have Warmonger's Tower to the south of it along the road here. Now note this is I don't want any of your Canadian snow there, Patrick. No, not here. Not here. You can keep it up there. So, but the Principality of Ulek is going to use some. This is if you ever look at Anna's original map, and it's got all of Anna has all the Living Greyhawk stuff in there. This is so different. This is what's up there, Gallagher. This is so much different than the map that you see published source end of last information map. So major changes here. So we're going to do that adventure, and Bill painted up some really great minis we haven't utilized yet. And I'm going to use them for this, and it's going to be really kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's $8.99, and that'll be 2 weeks. And the reason I bring this up is because everyone goes, "Oh, you'll get to 1,000 quickly, right?" Well, this is year 41, and I'm on 900. You divide and do the math. It's like at most 25 a year. You're talking 4 more years, everyone. I'm gonna be freaking 57 years old before I get to 1,000, right? Adventure number 1,000. So 900 is a big thing.
Yeah.
I'll finally get into 900. So 900, and I just said, I asked to Bill. I said, Bill, what do you want to do for 900? It's going to be right around when Underdark Uprising hits, and that will be a numbered adventure.
Yeah.
So, but I may make that one 901 because it's going to be a one-shotter. So I said, all right, I don't know if Chuck's on. I don't think Chuck's on tonight. I haven't seen him. So I had to think. You got to think a little politically here. What would be the cool thing to do for number 900? Why don't I kiss one of my sponsors' butts? Right. So
there you go.
So we're gonna go back to Narwhal for 900 and get the Narwhal group going, and then we'll run Verdant Rage for number 900. Okay. So this will be the second Troll Games adventure that I've run. The first one was Shadows of the Halfling Hall. We loved that a lot. So we'll hit the Narwhal area here, and let me skip ahead to.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you do streams, you need to plan ahead more, so you have a cool adventure for every week, so to speak, and then some extras for the specials.
Anna, and that was the question that Grape brought up, and I'm going to tell you, even more so. And John and I talked about this a little bit last week. When you have terrain and miniatures, and you're playing in that style.
Yeah,
and
you have some technical side of it too. Yeah,
you got to plan out a little bit more. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, or saying we're better than any other different style of playing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you need to really think about it. And so for I've really planned out, because you got those 3 adventures, so that'll get us to 900, 898, 899, 900. Then we'll have probably. Right then, we're going to have Underdark Uprising, the finale part, with Eric Mona playing. I have another special guest streamer. I'll tell you, it's a she. There you go. That's all you need to know about that. So yeah, very cool person. It's a she that's going to play in it, and that'll be like 901. And then right after February comes Reaper's Virtual Con. Hey, what's up, John? And Gary Con. So we're gonna be. No, it doesn't, Mac. And I guarantee you, Big Mac, you may or may not know this person, but I want this person to play in the game because she's really cool. So you got your Lost City Gaxmore. That's great to hear. And Stephen Chenault in the introduction says about 3 pages how the guy Gax has worked with them as they kicked off Troll Games. Oh yeah, and it's look at that. Look at how close I have it. I got my Castles and Crusades pile right there, Asher. So
yeah.
So I am running Verdant Rage as number 900. Now I haven't planned beyond that, because I figure I got all this other stuff I got to do, and we're also planning. That was nice of you, Patrick. Thank you. Yeah, we're planning a whole bunch of sort of different things, but I got ahead of myself. This is all supposed to be an Order of Ulek discussion. So real quick, Narwhal characters, the Narwhal Headhunters, a lot of really cool. I love doing up towns. This was another one that I took advantage of and did one little corner of Narwhal, because Narwhal's a fairly large town. And did it on the map. A lot of it's Buildcraft and Miniature Building Authority mixed together. Which is really neat, and it was able to. And there's the Narwhal Headhunters base inside where they're training. So I really had fun with that one. Getting back to Order of Ulek, I just did this up today, and I can't believe I haven't done this in years. I actually I cut out and just put all the officers in, trying to explain this to everyone, because everyone's going, I don't understand. You're in the Shieldlands. It's called the Order of Ulek.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, exactly. You need to run the story about the knights here. Yeah, or the order. Yeah.
All right. So when we started in the Pomage and Celine and protecting all the Ulek states. And then as the campaign expanded out, politics takes effect. And a political organization expands. Like, I'm going to give you an example of something that I don't use. The Knights of Luna, if you use them, are very active in Greyhawk because they're trying to do things in Greyhawk City to get Celine to act. So they're not just in
Are
Celine.
they mercenaries? Are they hired by others to work for them, or
Who?
are they out?
The Knights
Meaning the order, yeah, the Knights of Ulek. Are they
No.
mercenaries hired by others, or are they mission from home, so to speak?
So they are missioned from home with a purpose in each location. That's a great question. The adventuring groups there may be mercenaries and may have Knight of York members in it. So
Okay, yeah,
if we go to this list, you have the first three are the three main officers of the Order of Ulek. You have Gazumba himself. The number to the left is the number that they came in the Order of Ulek, and I think we're up to 223 now. PCs and NPCs, their class, race, sex, and their title. Then Fonkin Hottie Peak, because I love Fonkin from G1, the NPC in there, Andre Winchester, and then you have your shields, your spheres of influence. This is where we adventure. It's that simple. So we tie in the whole adventuring campaign in, and they try to do the best they can for good in these areas. So if I'm not explaining this, I apologize properly, but hopefully I'm explaining this well.
Yeah, but I think it's an important, interesting question. Yeah.
So if you are in the only area that does not have its own sub shield is, I'm trying to pop this up here. All right, the 41, the number of that is not in the campaign. It's like this, right? That's just for the
That's
stream.
the stream's logo or something. Yeah.
So if you look under here, Garth Warmonger, that's the half orc, that's Alan's, and it says Knight CO with a P in parentheses. That means Pomar sphere of influence, area of influence. So he is the commander, because how the hell do these people talk to each other over great distances? It's kind of like why there were two Romes, right?
Yeah.
Why there were two capitals of Rome, because to make a quick response. So you have that character's the commander of that area. Like something like say a Pomar's forces come across, or there's an adventure that needs to be assigned. That's the main character, and you have an XO. Now there may be other knights in that area. So you have P's Pomars, all right, and they have the same symbol because they're right there where the main keep is. All right, then you have this one, that symbol in the lower left. That's Shieldlands S. Railstone Gradavis, Gillian Chauncer are the two officers there. Okay, and that's why you'll see those symbols of the shields on the map. Hopefully, it's again, I'm explaining this properly. This is Greyhawk City, G. Okay, Corellia and Milana are the two characters there, and they have a building which used to be the Knight of the Holy Shielding building, and that's where the order is situated there. The purple one is Celine, okay, and the Celine area of influence. You have Temporal, that's a Mark character, and then Jasiah, who you will see Tuesday night on Blue Box's adventure, and
crossovers. Yeah,
I am. He didn't have to say this, but I really appreciate it from John. I'm co-DMing with him on Tuesday night on his stream. I'm gonna, because he can't do the descriptions for
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have I'm really excited about it. Plus, Bill's favorite character in the campaign is Jasiah, right? Bill, he can't stand her, so I'll be playing that character on. And if you know one last thing, if you know John's campaign, Ashrin is the fourth daughter of House Thronedale. Jasiah is the first, so they're sisters. So there's that tie-in there. All right. And then you have the green shield down here. That is the Vespy Forest. I've kind of gotten away from doing Vespy Forest stuff for the time being. We need to get back to it. And that is, a Vespy way out in the middle of nowhere for the Vespy. And then you have this one with the tree and the sword. And that's a new one. That's the first Ulek Pathfinders. It's kind of a group. It's an experiment. And it was Bill's idea. And that group is, the Bloody Brethren are part of that group. And they don't have to be good alignment. So they could put in vagabonds, bandits, and other things. But they're kind of go out and they're Pathfinders, just like the Pathfinders are in the Pathfinder campaign, right? They're out there and they're scouting and they're setting traps and all. And that is kind of what the PF stands for. And Bill's character Aylwin is the head of that. So that's the whole what's the word? Hierarchical or whatever.
Or how things are connected.
Yeah, the
so
authority and how things are
the
connected.
web of connections. That
Yes. So where's Mike? What does that mean, Josh? It's not
it's not Legends
Wednesday
and Lore, so,
night.
yeah.
It's not Legends
Yeah.
and Lore, man. What?
I'm the one sneaking in
Yes.
on extra shows here. So, yeah.
And Josh, thanks for all the cheers last night.
Yeah.
So if you want to know about some of the areas, this is an article I wrote, and it's in the Gary Con version. I think it's Earth Journal 28. This is outdated, though. This goes up to the David Gratoff's wedding adventure discussion. So the Trials of Legion happens after this, but it gives you a good basis as to what's going on. This is in, I believe, Earth Journal 28. Okay, there's 2 articles in that one. And like I said, Katarina and Valderessa and David are running the Shieldlands here, and I'm going to restart up the scroller now. But I wanted to explain that because I get a lot of it's more than it's turned into a whole political organization for good. I think that's what the Knights of Protectorate were supposed to be like, kind of, right from the before the Great Kingdoms went right. Because they were all over the place. They were in Furyandi.
Well, yeah, the Knight Protectors were the elite unit, I think,
Yeah.
to protect the integrity of the Empire. So, yeah.
Exactly. And that's the way.
Of stuff. Yeah.
And don't think of it as arrogant. Think of it. This is the way my campaign developed over 41 years. And
Yeah.
if you're playing a campaign and you have the same players and you have 10 years in, you got to think of ways to keep it fresh and exciting.
Yeah, you can't just go around looting dungeons.
You
have to have
can't,
some sort
no.
of more purpose than that, so to speak.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. So that's what has happened in the campaign, and I just wanted to, explain. You like that, Canadian? That's coming. So you got my last XL, believe it or not, for that. So that is coming to you. That shirt that Nadine is wearing. So I've just stepped it up in the world. I actually got models for my stuff now. So there you go.
Yeah.
She's a little too young for all of us there, in her 20s. So, we're old men there, Canadian, All right, beyond the Shieldlands, let's talk about another area. Please, if anyone has questions, feel free to ask it. All right, Please feel free. We'll go through the Shieldlands. What area do you want to talk about next? Let's talk about, we'll skip Celine for now.
Yeah, then do you have you have the Norwell Hardby Wild Coast area?
Yeah, we'll go talk about that, and we'll go back to and then we got to do Hardby too after that. So because the goings on of Hardby,
the connections between are kind of they're not that far distant.
They aren't,
so
absolutely.
you can kind of tie it together. Or do you have some stories that go between Norwell and Hardby and stuff, or are they
Greyhawk and Norwell? All right,
you have the whole
Yeah, that's a great point. So let me find Norwell, the beginning of Norwell here, and let me slow this down to about 60 seconds. That way we can. All right, Norwell, the newest group of first. I said I'd never do. The reason we went there was Bill has a character named Trevin. He's a 12th level priest of Tritharion, and I have his best friend Brolin, 11th level priest of Clangeddon Dwarf. And they have set up what's called, and you can barely see it on here, the shield hall of Tritharion, Trevin's Hall of Heroes, and it's one of the buildings in Norwell. And I figured, hey, now that I have them as Patreons, basically high-level characters from another adventuring group, why don't I start a new level first there? Because I love the Norwell adventuring so much, So
and then you can reuse. That's the way I do it. You develop one area so you can reuse it in many adventures, so to speak.
Yeah, this map doesn't really matter to me as much because we're only talking about, see the baronial land? We're only talking about to the right of that, where that big building, the Norwell Headhunters building is, that little block, that's it in that area. So if you go down here and scroll, now we'll start talking about Norwell. You have all sorts of player characters and NPCs with establishments here. So you have high-level characters, Trevin, Brolin, Nana, the duelist, has that's the building immediately to the left you see. That's her duelist training center, which you can go and train. Duelist training, if you read out that article, is a huge advantage you can take. Anyone can learn how to do better, plus to
Yeah.
hit with weapons in D&D First Edition with a duelist. You have two inns, you have you have different churches, you have different shops, all set up in this area. Some of them are published source, some of them aren't, which makes it cool. It's kind of mixed together. There's the wall for the Narwhal Headhunters headquarters.
Hmm.
This is a back view of that area. Note I had an
Love your
adventuring area in the front. Yeah,
Yeah, I love your
so
city setups. They're awesome.
well,
Yeah,
thank you. Really
yeah,
appreciate that. Let me
yeah.
go to
That,
Narwhal in
that's
here.
that's when I think miniatures come to the. It shines the most, so to speak, when you have city setups and that wall thing that was half torn down, and you had the battle of the walls and stuff. That's when I think that they shine the most.
I love, and we'll talk about this too, because Narwhal, we did Call of the Reptile God. I had the entire
Yeah.
village of, and it's on this map, Lorraine, and
Yeah. You renamed Orlane to Lorraine instead. Yep.
yeah. Let me do a blow up on this one. Notice I have axes instead of swords on the transition for now. I'm really
Yeah.
learning how to do that after three years. All right, so if you go to this map here, Narwhal smack dab in the middle in the Wild Coast. I love the headhunters. Well, thank you, Guild Superior. I really appreciate that, man. Very, very, very kind of you. On this map, Anna has added Forest Green Bastion, which is a
Yeah.
keep, which I used before we were streaming. Lorraine, which is Orlane, but just moved. Newbriar, which is from Shadows of the Halfling Hall. Okay. And then we have some stuff to the east, but this map will start getting filled in more and more as we do more and more adventures. Okay, which is cool. We should put the headhunter symbol on this map too. I think
Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but the Wild Coast is a 5 roads going into Norwell. Does that mean it would have 5 city gates? Well, if you look at this map here,
We can say that
Mac,
that is from the Fate of Istus, right? That Narvel map.
no, this is from Slavers.
Oh, from Slavers. Okay,
Yeah,
but it's used the same. It's the same style, so
it's the
probably
same
done by
style.
the same. Yeah. Okay.
Mac,
Good.
I only see 3 going in on this one. So, Orlean, Eleanor. See, that's the way, Dwayne. You change it to whatever
Yeah.
you need, and
Yep.
it's still against the Cold of the Reptile God. It's just moved, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Need more gardens and flowers. You have to, and Bill's going to tell you this. I have overwhelmed him this year with stuff, and if he's on, I got to say thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
very much to Bill, because I have really, really overburdened him. He is right now painted at least 11 or 12 of the 17 mounted figures we need for the joust.
Oh, for the joust. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have the tilt wall and the entire stadium set up, and plus
Oh,
all the other,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
plus the shrine that we need for Verdant Rage. So, yeah. Well, look at it this way, Mac. Narwhal's a small community. It's not like Greyhawk, which has all those entrances, right? You compare Greyhawk to London. I compare Narwhal to, I don't know any. Gosh, I don't know a lot of the. How does
It will be York instead of London.
how does
Like
Brighton sound, or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, Brighton. Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's something that like a 10th of the size
Yeah.
of Greyhawk
Yeah.
in size.
I pulled that one
or
out.
20th.
That was from watching Premier League soccer, or
Yeah.
or
But it's like a 10th or 20th of the size of Greyhawk, I think.
yeah. So what you do is they have gone through about 4 or 5 adventures, and they are all initiates, the ones that chose to be, because now they have their own adventuring group. Some of them are headhunters, some of them aren't. That's how I solve this problem. If you're a DM and you go, you must all join this organization or you can't play in this group, you're going to run into problems. Don't do that with your players. Your players want to associate loosely together and adventure together. It's better that way. That's just my opinion. So I think about like 2/3 of them are Narwhal headhunters, and the other third aren't. So it's cool, you know.
Yeah.
And some of them have other agendas going on, and there's some side things like
Yeah.
Walt's character Lindara. And here's a little good question, Gil. 1 second. Walt's character Lindara is not a member of the Narwhal Headhunters, but she is. She's on a secret assignment. So she did not join, but she is a member secretly. So just to give you a little tidbit of what's going on. So many of the locations detail events are drug resulted for. So Guild, I'm gonna link Anna's shout outs here. Her Greyhawk base Greyhawk map is free to download.
Yep.
Okay. Patreoning
And
her is the best $5 you can ever spend a month because you get
Thank you.
everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you get it earlier in others, and you get to tell
Yeah.
me what I should do more than the others, so to
Yeah.
speak. That's that too, and you help me spend more time working on my maps and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
that's
the
the
heraldry and
yeah,
stuff available too.
definitely. And Big Alf, you're absolutely correct. If the players want to swap characters because of their own agendas, embrace it and work with it. Yes. And that's kind of, there's a main plot line, and then there's little subplots that run 100 different directions. I do not run true sandbox. It is, number one, it's not my style. Number two, it's very difficult to do when you're using miniatures and terrain. It is. And streaming
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Well, yeah, exactly. That puts another constraint on it, so to speak. You have
Yes.
to deliver content every week, and yeah.
3, my players aren't comfortable playing sandbox. They're not, and they never have. So we have when you're city campaigning is the biggest type of sandbox we all ever have, because we're in the city. They're free to do whatever they want to do. If you're in Greyhawk, the Greyhawk groups, they're free. There's like 5 Greyhawk groups, adventure groups.
Yeah.
They're free to do it. The Norwalk group, they can go around, they can do whatever, they can interact with whoever during the downtime of the adventure. So just to put that out there. Headhunters have any or subgroups connected to them. So Canadian, there's a little thing going on, Patrick. The Headhunters, and you need to read up from the Ashes box set about the Headhunters, and it's really about Bladestorm and about Romarian Tamain, their leader, and some other things. Now I have it that the Headhunters in my game, by the way, Narwhal was not raised to the ground like in Living Greyhawk, where everything was destroyed completely.
Yeah, I haven't raised it to the ground
Okay.
either, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But they completely destroyed it in Living Greyhawk. But the Headhunters fought with Mastrine and shouldn't have pissed him off. And the Headhunters, and Anna loves Mastrine too.
Oh
I
yeah,
have-
have you used him? Yeah.
Yeah, on this map you see Mastrine. Mastrine has a lot of daughters in my game. Well, one of them was an anti-paladin. They killed her off, and he got pissed off, and half of the Headhunters were killed in battles with Mastrine until he was satiated. This is why they're out hiring all these new low-level characters. Their numbers are down to like 20, and that's not enough to patrol the lands around them. So maybe it should be. Maybe it should be what, Tim? So, now any other subgroups you're connected to. So there are other factions here. There's a new faction to the north, led by Evie of the Dark Cloak, who hates the Headhunters for a certain reason and has claimed control of the lands north of Narwhal up to between Camp Adalorn and Narwhal in that area. And we did one adventure on that, haven't developed that. Maybe it should be raised. No. See, Tim, you're very you're too reactionary. The ever mysterious Tim is always reactionary, and that's why he has his own emote. So I think that deserves about 8 Tim heads. I'll do 4. There you go. So I think Narwhal is a fun place. There's so many different things to do. There's so much going on there. So we will run Verdant Rage adventure number 900. It'll be in the Narwhal, the Gnarly, in the Gnarly Forest north of Narwhal. I already know where I'm going to put it, and then we're going to run that, and then we'll go from there. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, and Normal is cool because you have elvendom, you have humanoids, you have big city, you have coast nearby, and
Dragons
it's
too.
exactly, and dragons too. So there's a lot of cool things to choose from in that area.
You have and you can barely see on this map, you have the Cockatrice Riders out of Pascarel, and they're not
Hmm.
good.
Yeah,
By no means they're
exactly.
not
And
good.
Mustrin is not good either. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of interesting things going on.
And note this. Narwhal and Harby are the two areas least of influence that the Order of Ulek has influence in.
Hmm.
There is no Order of Ulek base in Narwhal. There is none as of now. Whether there becomes one or not, we shall see. There's none in the Hardby either. So it may be a direction the campaign goes or not. It depends on the player characters and whether one of them decides to do that for the time being. So I'm just stating that, noting that everything does not revolve around that shield. Okay, and it goes in different directions. Now, the Headhunters work with a lot of player characters like that we discussed from the adventure group, the Iron Brigade. I actually run Bladestorm as an NPC with Iron Brigade once in a blue moon. So there you go. So Cockatrice Riders have serious stones. That's funny. So so no, that's Narwhal, and I'm so glad that we did firsts in there, and we have that pool of adventurers where everyone has three, and they pick depending on the adventure. I'm looking forward to adding a new first, everyone adding that third character because I told them two. That'll be a pseudo new first thing, but it'll be added into the Narwhal Headhunters pool. So it really isn't a brand new spanking group at first. That'll satiate the players for hopefully a year or two. So, but that's what's going on there. So, anyone have anyone ventured in the area out there, or want to make a comment or have a question for me, please, or for Anna, for her maps, please do. I, it's okay.
Cockatrices don't have stones. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, the
Try.
Wild Coast is one of these areas I would like to come back for because now I'm running a human campaign. Basically, there are humanoids and others as NPCs and stuff, but it's a human campaign. All the characters are humans. But I'm thinking about running one of my campaigns. I would like to run in the future is to have an elven-based campaign where the elves will take on the humanoids and reconquer some of the Wild Coast together with people from Greyhawk and
Wow,
Hardby
that's a great idea.
and stuff like that. Yeah, to run a campaign against the humanoids of the Pomage. That's one of the things I would like to because I see politically it will fit right now in my version of Greyhawk that they go on adventures like that and they start military campaigns and stuff like that. So it will be cool to have the characters play out their part in a campaign of that. That will be kind of interesting. So yeah.
So Guild Superior, here's the answer to that. The maps I show you are custom edits by Anna that I request for my campaign. The main Greyhawk map that you get, from Patreon or from what Anna does of all Greyhawk, it's all published source for the most part.
Yes, there are a
locations.
few fan editions. So
Yeah.
so it's basically all the things in official TSR
Yeah.
Wizard of the Coast publications, and then it's things from Dragon, Dungeon Magazine,
Altamira.
Living Greyhawk, and Worth Journal, and also some other
Carlos.
Carlos Games, Mike Bridges, all articles,
Malden.
and Malden and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so fans that have created cool stuff that is widely acclaimed in the Greyhawk community, I add that to my maps as well.
Yeah.
So people always say, "What do I need to bribe you to get my stuff on the map?" No, you need to give it out, to start a Greyhawk blog or start posting on Cannonfire and other places, and then promote and say, "I did this cool thing," and then a lot of people would tell me, "Oh, that's awesome content." And that's one of the criteria. The other criteria is I don't want content that contradicts published sources, but I want content that complements published sources. So find your little unused area of Greyhawk or the Flannies, and then put content in there, so to speak. That's what Mike Bridges did with Ull, for instance. He wrote the definitive articles about Ull, and that has a lot of places and
So two things on that. Number one, No one touched Celine. Because Anna's got her own version of Celine, and I got my Celine. No one touches Celine for me, please.
Yeah.
Celine's mine. Celine and Altamira area and the County
Yeah.
Ulek area. I'm adding to
Yeah.
number two.
Mhm.
Dunmounds will be on there officially because that publication's coming out next. Supposed to come out end of
Yes. Yeah.
February.
Mhm.
So
Yep. So we put that on the. I put that on
woo,
the map when you started
yeah,
writing it. So yep. So
yeah, that's
thanks. Yeah.
awesome. And number
Yeah.
three, the question Big Mac asks. How much do you use distance on the map to calculate how likely it is various monsters or rival factions would interfere in Norwell?
That's a
That
good question.
it is a
Yeah.
great question. It's a couple things. I use the background information from published source references and then work my way and weave into my campaign stuff. So I'll give you an example. My shrine. Okay, as you can see on this map down here, Mastrine is right. It's not far from Narwhal, and he claims the land's 15 miles around. Mastrine's a real pain to them.
Mhm.
15th or whatever level he is, neutral evil. Anna has him as an ex Great Kingdom
Ex-Great
person.
Kingdom
Yeah,
person that in exile, so to speak. He took off with a bunch of money and other resources, and when the Great Kingdom started to fall apart. So yeah.
yeah. So you gotta know. So you go in and you take a look, and Black Forlorn's in the area. You have also Varnafane, which is not just south of Mastrine's area, which I've used extensively. So you take that in, you weave in all the stuff that's going in the Slavers reference, which is one of my favorites of all time, and then you develop your campaign, you develop what's going on in those areas, and that's how you determine what kind of interactions you have, and it's got to make sense for your own campaign too. So what
Yeah.
I do may not be what Asher does or what Cold Steel Penguin does or what Prometheus does, but it works for my guys in my group, and
Yeah.
hopefully that explained it correctly.
Yeah.
And then I know we had a
And
second
yeah,
one.
Gautano asked what Living Greyhawk resources and are those canon of your own maps? Well, Living Greyhawk is kind of tricky
No,
because the quality varies from the best among the best that has ever been written for Greyhawk to something that was simply scribbled down one afternoon because they needed it the same evening, and there's no fact checking and stuff. So I've been selective when it comes to Living Greyhawk content. Some I've added and weaved in there. Other stuff I have not touched. And also because there is another thing with Living Greyhawk. Living Greyhawk actually altered the campaign, meaning they erased things, they changed things, they ruined things, they simply blew up things, literally sometimes and more figuratively other times. So I've tried to be so as long as Living Greyhawk content is complementary or additive, add to the previous content, then I put it in there. But when it's conflict and stuff, I let the published sources have preference, so to speak. So I try to not remove old stuff from published stuff. I just want to add to it. That's the main explanation. And then we have another version of the map that I posted here and there, sometimes not so much officially yet, but to my patrons and a few other times I'll link to it. And that's my campaign version of the map. That is simply my take on it that I use for my campaign that have evolved and changed over the years too. And that one is in a lot of areas that I haven't campaigned in. It's basically just my published version of the map. But in the areas that I have campaigned, I've added tons of stuff. I've uprooted and changed things here and there, and it's something that is in development, so to speak. It's just a separate version of the Illustrator file that I just change things and add things to and stuff. And for those of you who have Illustrator, this source file, the Illustrator document is actually on my website. So you can download that and change and make your own version of my map. So the raw same document that I use is actually on the website too. It's a version there, so you can just download it, and then you get all the symbols and all the heraldry. Everything is on there, so you can just do it. So if you want to make your own version, get Adobe Illustrator. Unfortunately, you need that tool because that's the only thing that so far been powerful. I'm going to move that over to other tools in the future, so you will not need an Adobe subscription for $50 a month or at least $10 a month for Illustrator. So that's the yeah.
All right, some questions. I really appreciate all the questions. So
Yeah.
going back to Norwell, there's all sorts of trouble, and that's what Narwhal's out in the middle of nowhere. So banditry's one. The roads, I think, are crappy out here.
Oh yeah, it's
really crappy.
Yeah, it's out in the boondocks,
Yeah.
literally. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, there were a bridge jump only. Two, you can this area you can almost have any kind of creature you want in this area, monsters, crazy stuff, because there's nothing, there's no armies, there's no armies of Greyhawk, and there's no huge military presence. The Sylvan Elven tribes tend to keep to themselves. The Rangers of the Gnarly do the best they can, but there's not many of them, so you got a lot of options in this area. Try reboot, Ashur. Try and reboot your system, or reboot your router too. Sometimes if you need a nice reboot. All right. So Ilnaval asked a question. I want to get to that. That's a real important one. He asked a question about rivalries within the Order of Ulek. Oh yeah, and other groups. So adventuring groups. So if I have multiple adventuring groups, say like in Altamira, that's not a good one. That's not good. It's Harby. There's three different adventuring groups we have in Harby. Well, there's the Harby Irregulars. There is Reckless Indifference and the Hiltless Swords, all with all their own player characters. Reckless Indifference has a little bit more of a chaotic group to it, and there's a couple characters in that group which don't like anyone, and they actually will work against the other two adventuring groups. When you get into the Order of Ulek, and let me show you the family. Here it comes. Bill's eyes are going to rip out. He's going to rip his own eyes out if we get to this point, because the Winchester family tree. I think I mentioned this on another chat. All right, here's the Winchester family tree. So 2 high-level. Andrea Winchester's third in command of the Order of Ulek. She has a second cousin, Lane Winchester, who has Golden Tower in Selene now, and she's dual-class Paladin Magic user. Well, Andrea didn't think that any self-serving Cavalier Paladin should ever dual class, so they don't get along. They really despise each other, actually, and they're both lawful good. And the irony was, in one of the previous jousts, which you're going to have the joust of Altamira coming up during GaryCon about 15 years ago, and maybe if it's longer than that, in the finals, it was between Andrea and Elaine. Elaine unhorsed Andrea and won. So there's that rivalry there. So yes, there are rivalries even between characters, and it doesn't matter that they're both lawful good alignment. You can still be lawful good and not like someone. So
yeah, we had a good show on that a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and that can really spice up a game, so to speak. Think about Lord of the Rings with between Gimli and Legolas have a friendly rivalry that makes the story much better.
All right, so Guild Superior, I'm out there a little bit because of 41 years, it's roughly a 1-for-1 year progression, but I haven't done a year change this year. By the way, year changes take days because I imagine if I had to do birthdays for everyone, they all have the same day. When I do a year change, I change everyone, make them 1 year older. I gotta do that. I gotta do that for almost 1,000 sheets. Right.
Wow. Yeah.
So we're in 623.
Yeah, I'm in 598.
Yeah.
Winter, close
Blue
to
Box
Fest 99.
Blue Box and us are in 623. But there's history going all the way back. We started 569 at the Battle of Emerald Meadows, and there's history going all the way back. So that's what year we're in. But it's immaterial, really, the year. Because we've done
it's also up to your play style, meaning how you do it. Some people like to go back and play historic events and back in time, and then
good question, sure.
Yeah, and some go forward and stuff too. So I've seen steampunk versions of people talking about steampunk and go to the year 1000.
Yeah, Greyhawk 2000 it's called, isn't it? Or something like that?
There was some project like that I read about on Cannon Fire. So there's all sorts of ideas on this. Yeah.
So the rivalry thing is a good point, and you get that a lot in groups and adventures, and saved closed. It may not be. So, all right, let's move on to another area. Shall we? Let's do Hardby.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know we're not going to get to everything tonight, which is kind of cool. So if Eric Boyd does not come, Eric Boyd is not confirmed 100% yet for next week. So I'm gonna have to do part 2 on this next week, but we'll see here.
Then you can,
we can always do something. We'll have something. Let me just make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, we'll start it here. All right. So Hardby. One of my favorite places because no one there is of any reputable honor in Hardby, right?
Ah.
It's way worse than Greyhawk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And let me get to the map here. I still swing through Hardby. Okay. Alita Norbalos, the main the main antithesis of the campaign. Evil, a judge, next in line for the despotrics of Hardby, named in the slaver set, and actually to piss Greyhawk off, actually works with the slavers and the Earth Dragon cult. Okay,
Oh.
and that is right from published source. So yeah, good question. Yeah, the answer is yes. The only ones I have that have sewers, we've never done sewer adventuring in Altamira yet, just because I haven't
Yeah.
gone there. But it would be Altamira, Greyhawk, and Hardby, and they have them written up. But a lot of them probably have smaller systems. They got to have
Yeah,
drainage and stuff.
yeah, and it also depends on the
Yeah,
geography. Meaning, is
yeah,
it built on hard granite? Then
yeah.
probably not that likely, so to speak. You need sewers if you need to lead water away. If it's built on a slope, you can just pour it outside the wall, and it will disappear down the
Because
thing.
then
So
they
it's
just dump the pots out in
exactly,
Europe.
but
Oh,
well, yeah. So it depends very
back in
much
the
on
day.
what is the layout of the
Yeah.
city geographically. Is it on a mountain slope, or is it down on a grassy big plain where if you just pour it out, it will, let's if they need to transport it away. And it's also the standard of the city, the technological, economical. You need money and organization to build sewers. So
I love adventuring in the sewers in Greyhawk.
yeah,
I've done a lot. I mean, I dealt
yeah,
Lord's Tombs connected to them, and I had that mega
yeah,
adventure I did. A Gitano played in that
yeah.
oh my God, PAX Unplugged, and I've run that a couple times.
Yeah.
So Alita is bad, really bad, and really got under the skin of Mark's character, the legendary and currently dead Michael Baton, right? So Michael got word, and this is like adventures ago, and sunk a slaver ship on information he knew that Alita had cargo on, and that started a war. And if you remember the Harpy War, and this is over a year ago, and ships are burning in the harbor, and
I
people,
think I remember some ships. You had these fires and this
yeah,
cotton ball smoke that looked fantastic
all
and
sorts
stuff.
of people
Yeah.
were dying everywhere, and because
Mhm.
she's out because she didn't know who did it, and then she had it down to 3 ships, so she just targeted them
Yeah.
all. And this fighting went on, and then Michael got kidnapped and was going to be taken off to the to the Pomars in a slave ship, and they rescued him. And they didn't want to because Michael was the most hated. Yeah, you see, Michael was the most hated character in the campaign
Yeah.
by far the most hated because he used to charge for healing during adventures in the early days. He was a lawful
That
neutral.
was worse than we had yesterday when Casey got riled up about or Garn got riled up about the expenses of adventuring. Yeah.
So and that picture, by the way, is of Knuckle Paler Shannon Maynham. She's a pirate, and if you know anything about Hardby background, there's 6 named houses of Hardby, and Norbalos is one. Maynham, which she's a member of, is another. Gurnish Skier, Longlands, Havalos, and Jonish.
Are those in published sources?
Yes,
Or
published
okay,
source.
awesome.
Yep,
Yep.
published source.
Yeah.
So I'll get you your VIP badge, Jill Naval.
Yeah. And
To the show.
another comment is that I have to make is that
Yeah.
that's one of the other awesome things with sea adventures is that they are very well suited for miniatures and stuff. You can
Oh
have
yeah.
ships and you can move them around and you can so that's another thing I really appreciate, miniatures for ships and sea
Wait
travel.
till in April, after all the Gary Cons and
Yeah.
stuff, we get the Reaper one that we have on Bones 5. It's like this big.
Oh.
It's 30 some inches long.
Oh wow.
Yeah, cannot wait for that. So yes, Michael Baton was a priest of Zilchis who charged for healing. So yes, it was not back in the day. Dak, I can't wait till we get it. I mean, it's on order as soon as we get them in. I can't wait to have it and
Yeah.
use that. And I will have an adventure just for that ship. So Michael was universally hated. Here's a picture of him in the Southern Point having a meeting with the adventuring party. This is right before It's a Tricka who was Joe Selby's character from Cannon Fodder, who was the assassin from Divers. Him and two of his friends showed up and assassinated him right after this scene, cut his head off, and then left. Right? Because Michael originally is from Divers, so there's some kind of he's universally hated everywhere. So
Yeah.
they don't even know if it was a hit on from Harby or if it was a hit from Divers, which shows if you're really
If you have
disliked,
too many enemies,
you
they
have
can
too many
they can hide
enemies.
easily. Yep.
So I
Yep.
kind of ended the Michael Baton Alita rivalry for now. I played it out,
Yeah.
and that's how I end.
Yeah, but the cool thing is you have stories like that in your campaign. You can reuse them later and introduce them in new generation or something that
Exactly.
the old rivalry can come back again for a sequel. So yeah.
So we ran Crossbows and Crossbones, Sean Reynolds' adventure that he was kind enough to not give me. That's what I have to say.
Yep.
And I ran that just right before the new year, and that was the last Harby adventure I did, and it was cool. And probably we will not get back to Harby with all the stuff we are doing in 2021 till I get that pirate ship. So, I mean, that huge ship, and then we do something because we're really stacked up. So Harby tends to be, and these are pictures of the last one of the last. This was called Orders in the Chaos. This was after Michael was assassinated. This was this bizarre windmill on the on the western side of the
Oh, yeah.
map. Remember, Anna, you
Yeah.
placed that,
Yep.
and there was like all these weird people there. Guarding it because the slavers were going to make a forward base. So Harby adventuring in my campaign is shipbound a lot. They all three adventuring groups have letters of marque. They've earned the letters of marque, and they go out
So
and
they
they
are
raid.
kind of privateers.
Privateering, and that I
Yep.
love that aspect
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And they fight mostly against pirates, slavers, and any other baddies. And they're not. It's not a good versus evil thing here. So Harby tends to be full of injustice. Well, Tim's two characters were so chicken shitted from there. They fled right in the middle of an adventure once. Tim, right? See what he says about that. They just we're leaving right in the middle of a fight. If you remember, if any of you remember that adventure, Tim's character Hugo brought his whole band onto the beach, and then they got fireballed, and the entire band got killed. And then maybe you remember that. So see what he says. But that was
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
I was going to say Harby is another good area for adventuring because you can easily go out and have seabound adventures, but also it's a seaport, meaning there can come interesting things from other parts of the world. So you can be local but still have a flavor from almost anywhere, so to speak.
Yeah.
Strangers can come and be inserted into your campaign, and it can still be really likely, so to speak, and function really well, so to speak.
Big Mac, where's that adventure? Is that published? I have the of Ships in the Sea book, and by the way, I noted this, and I was not trying to be a jerk, but maybe I was. The Ships in the Sea 2e book is the appendix in Ghost of Saltmarsh, by the way. And they call it of Ships in the Sea, right?
Yep.
So that's the book I use. I use a couple other pirate references. There's a good one, Pirates of the Sea of Stars or whatever from Forgotten Realms, which is good. There's a couple other third-party ones that is good. I'll check that out. Yeah, that'll be cool. So Harby we probably won't get back to for a little bit. We love playing in Harby. And you notice on this map down here, let me go to the big map real quick and just so you can see it a little bit better on Harby. Okay, let me go in order on Harby. I want to now my system is lagging here. I hate that. When you try and go through stuff here. Harby. Okay, here it is. Harby. I notice. I wish we had done it before streaming. I may do it again as a repeat, but Ghost Tower of Inverness is on this map, and I love that running that. We just did, and it's way out there. You can't see Karastein's castle to the east. Storm Keep's on here. Where Anna was last night, Imri, the Gravemoor, which Anna placed on the map for me, is there near Fishtown, and Oars and all. We were talking about that last night. We did an adventure at Miraculous Isle. That's another ad. Sandy Shores is another ad. So we got a lot of locations on the map here that have been added in. All right, thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Let me pop that up. Oh, cool. I'll bookmark that. Awesome. Thank you very much. That's cheap too. I can get that. I don't have that one. I don't have. I have very little Spelljammer stuff. So look for Harby later in the year for updates in Harby. Now that I've played out that Michael Batana elitist storyline to death. But if you want to know an area that is going to have a lot of action coming up, and let me see if I got the right map here. Nope, not there. See, I forget where here it is. Okay, and thank you, Rich Longitalis and Gary Julian for adding into the reference for all the realms that are published, allowing Free City of Altamira to be in there. I really appreciate that. So the Free City of Altamira itself is Narwhal derived from Narrywell. I imagine it is, Tim. That's a good question. Portals to other worlds are not a bad thing sometimes. I mean, especially if you want to go astral planing and run like great was it Dragon Tim or Dungeon Fedefensor, where you recover a Githyankai Silver Sword. There's a lot of great adventures that are out in other planes, so that you can do right out of, for Greyhawk. So Free City of Altamira is in the Cannon Fire reference, which is wonderful. So here's what's going on in Altamira. And by the way, I am working on looking around. I know, Anna. There's my Altamira rough match.
Oh, yes.
There's my map. That's my Altamira map.
Yeah.
So
but you just need to make it big and then sketch in small things and we work from there. So,
that's exactly what
I
need.
And we need to do the when we've done the terrain, so we have the terrain around, so we can place the city that way. Then I think it's
that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, so we have to. But the good thing is I can jump around. But I'll talk about that at the end when we do shout outs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, Mac. I'm honored that they allowed basically a fandom area. Yes. To be in that, and it's turning. It's on Anna's map, so people go, "What is it?" and all now at this point, and it fits perfectly. And I have no problem giving out information. So, what is happening here? Well, first off, there's a grand festival and the Joust of Altamira. It is the prime event of Gary Con for Greyhawk Adventures. Saturday night, the 27th. I think it starts at 6 p.m. Central and it runs to whenever it's done. 16 badass jousters till there's one left. There are 4 open sign-up spots that are going to be on the Gary Con site. So they'll probably be going in 30 seconds, right? So there are 4 spots. If I don't have enough.
When are the sign-ups start?
Not yet. The sign-ups haven't started yet, but there's going to be at least 4 for anyone who wants to join in and sign up. And I will provide the characters for you, of course, or you can talk to me about it. But if you want in on it, there are 4 spots. So I want the audience to participate. So that is first, and Tim will help me with commentary. Tim will be one of the. He does that really well, and we'll have a lot of fun with that. But after that, what is going on? I have this adventure called In Pursuit of the Flower, where they're following this ex-bounty hunter from the Altamira Bounty Hunters Guild. The slum area of Altamira, which was called the Squatter Village area, is empty, and no one knows why. Well, turns out it's remote. It's not. This is not in person. This is all remote play, by the way. Turns out in Altamira something is going on sinister. Something is going on in the Vespy Forest, and they don't know. It's like the Pied Piper. It's like this is what happened with cults and things like this. One person gets attracted and it looks like, oh, it's better for us. So all of those people that have come here as refugees or whatever, and they don't like their position, have all of a sudden emptied Altamira in that section for the most part and headed into the Vespy Forest for some reason. It turns out the beast person you fought last night, Anna, is a tie-in to what's going on in Altamira too. These beast men are now showing up in areas, and Bill has gotten a lot of miniatures prepared for that. Oh yeah, Mac, there's going to be a lot of them, a lot. So there is this cult of what's called the Sun, S-O-N, and that is, and I also remember the adventure with Mike Disney and the adventure with the Deathmaster. There was that big statue of, it looked like a demon in chains, and it said the Sun underneath it. A lot of people didn't catch that Easter egg, but in the adventure that Chuck was in, and you were in, and Tim was in, right? He played Sir Reginald. That was there, and that kind of, I was like, oh, no one made that connection, but that was a little Easter
Yeah.
egg for future stuff happening.
Ah.
And that Deathmaster was a
It's
follower
so
of the
cool
Sun.
to put in, put in teasers and
Of course.
and links like that. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yes, you were, Amy. Your character was the illusionist that was messing around with that Deathmaster. Remember? Yes. And that remember that statue of the demon in the corner? Yeah. It just said the Sun on it. Yeah. See, that's what it. Try. Oh, is that what you think, Tim? So, a son of Orcus. Maybe. So we will see where that goes in Altamira. And once again, having great players and having a great team of people, the original idea came not from me, but from one of my players. So when it goes bad, I can always say, blame that person, not me. So I have, but that's some of the things we do, is we get other, yeah, definitely. So that is what's going on in Altamira, along with other Knight of Ulek stuff and a lot of County of Ulek development. And let me go to a map here and let me show you what I mean. All right. Let me go to the Altamira map, and this is the most developed area of all the maps. If you look on here, okay, starting in Selene North, Lightning Rod Tower, that is Tim's character who's on there. They call me Tim's character, Fensick. Golden Tower, that is Elaine Winchester's tower. Selman Estate, that's another lesser house. We'll talk about houses of Selene on Blue Box Tuesday nights. Ranger Hold, that is one of Alan's characters, Arathorn, son of Aragorn. He comes up with unique names. Go down to Defile's End. We did that. Hearthguard Tower, Freeman's Bank, Thornwall Abbey. They're all adds to this, and of course Altamira. They're all adds to this area. This area is devoid of baddie. I have a lot of your flame wizards with Deathmasters. Sure, great minds think alike, don't they? Plus, you got to have an ode to Leonard Lakofka, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, so I'm developing the area around the County of Ulek, Selene, and Altamira heading south. And I think Anna and I are going to work on getting the Patriots of Ulek stuff in the map instead of Living Greyhawk. What do you think? Down that little valley south.
And I'm going to redo some of that area, the terrain a bit, so we can change it into Patriot of Ulek, so we can kind of get. And I got some great help with the.
Excellent.
To kind of to move a few things. So Ritter's Marsh and a few other places need to be moved around a bit, so you can match, so we can both have the Living Greyhawk content and match the Patriots of Ulek better. And there's a little bit of terrain edits to do, and I also want that in before I move in and make the new generation of Greyhawk maps, because I'm using this existing map as a template, so to speak, to work from. So that will be sometime this year that change need to be done.
Well, Dorgrim, I would. I mean, I would run L1. L1 is a sandbox in itself. So, and there's so many different subplots you can do in that. All right, well, that's cool, Asher. I mean, I have modified the Deathmaster, obviously, from Leonard's, made some slight changes to it. And it's, of course, it's an NPC-only class, but I allow PC Necromancers. So, there you go. So that's where the difference is. I have both of them. What's up, Legend Song? Good to see you. Very good to see you. That's what's happening in Altamira. So I got a lot of fun things planned for there coming up. And first thing that will really be in there, unless I do a one-shot or somewhere to fill in, is during Gary Con in March, the last weekend in March. we'll have a nice big joust competition. I'm excited about it. Blue Box put in all his games today. So John's got 4 events in. One's a talk show. And I think his open sign-up game is Saturday as well. So he has his Saturday, I think at noon of the same day, is his open sign-up game for viewers. So we got a lot of cool things going on that Saturday of GaryCon. Hey, it's fantastic, Dorgrim. I love the Deathmaster. Len was ahead of his time. What can I say?
Yeah.
With stuff that he did, he was so fantastic. Celine.
Yeah.
Celine. So you're going to see this map from Celine on Tuesday night as well, and I'm going to go to a big one real quick on this. So, Pomarsh. All right. Up north, the Jastrul Estate, most of these entry areas are all Anna edits in here. There's some that aren't, but there's a ton of them that are all mine because we have so many different estates up here. So the Blue Box group is traveling to the Jastrul Estate right now, and that's where that adventure will take place. And just to note that I have no adventures planned myself in Celine for now, but that may be subject to change in April or May. The Celine Sus Forest Night's Watch is still the same as is by charter. It's only 12 members. 7 of them are reserved for the upper houses, the noble houses of Celine. 3 of those members are reserved for lesser houses of Celine. 1 is from a Welkwood elf, and the 12th is a honorary human member, usually from the Welkwood or Gnarly, and that is the group, and it's by charter. And that is a way I explain why I don't have, and this goes back to the 80s, why I don't have the Knights of Luna. I already have a knighthood in Celine. I don't need a second one, so that's kind of convenient for me. But you know, and then we have our Royal Noble Houses of Celine. If you go to House Thronedale, the 4th one down, Jacia, Rael, Chantel, and Ashrin are all of House Thronedale, and you'll see Jacia on Tuesday night interacting with the party, and that'll be kind of interesting. House Jastrul is the house Gazumba is from, and you know, he won't be on the adventure, but you may see Tim. You may see his best friend Hawk on the as an NPC Tuesday night as well. I'm still pondering that. Okay, back to the Pomarsh. Lots of things going to be going on in the Pomarsh, and I talked about this. I love having so many humanoids, right, Anna? I love having the Pomarsh right near our area of camping.
Humanoids are some of the favorite baddies you can have in a role-playing game campaign. You can have lots of them, and they go in, at least I make them in the range from easy to kill to really, really powerful. So yeah.
Yeah. So Lonely Yeti asks, will there be any Black Knights? The answer to that is the current champion is technically a Black Knight type. So you will see. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone, but he is a right-hand man of a high-level baddie cavalier in my campaign. So there you go. So and Tim knows who that person is I talked about. Anna knows because Anna helped me develop the lightning bolt on the shield, which took an entire day, if you remember.
Oh yeah, that was the one that was so difficult to mask off, and we have to redraw it a bit and stuff. But it turned out really well at the end.
Yeah, I'm going down to the left-hand corner. I'm going to scroll to it. You will see this shield. By the way, there's a new shield in here too that I just went by. But where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. That is the symbol of this individual, and the person will be.
I really like that shield. It's so
Tim is correct. It's the shield of Lord Page. And if we go to the Pomarsh, Lord Page goes back to our Highport adventuring days with Tim's character Skeeve. So let me go to the Pomarsh. If you take a look at Highport, and you can see his shield is on that map to the southwest, the Lord Page estate. So thank you for that follow. I have it's behind this, and I didn't see who it was, but thank you so very much. Let me go to alert box just to see who it was. Recent events, recent events. Slagrock1, thank you. Really appreciate that. So Lord Page is on this map. He's a foe of Tim for years, but he's chaotic neutral and he serves no lord. He serves no one slavers. No one messes with him. He has a final word sword. He has back talker, the broadsword chaotic neutral, which if you know what a final word sword does, that's right, Tim. Yes. Lord Page's ex-wife is married to Tim's character Skeeve now, which is kind of bizarre. Lady Valencia Page. So that's a whole story in itself. I think I told in a previous discussion. So, but that will be it'll be his captain of the guard is the Black Knight, because Lord Page is too high level for this, for the joust. So. Just to put in a little how we connect everything in the campaign, we try and make it all make a little bit of sense. All right, back to the Principality of Ulek. Okay, put that up. Yeah, if you don't like someone, yes. Don't I use canon? I use a ton of canon, Patrick, a ton of it. But when you've been playing for 41 years, canon becomes kind of irrelevant at some point, right? And Anna's like,
if you I use a lot of canon in the backstories for my and then I develop from canon, so to speak, which means that I will alter it, and that's why I have moved from. There are two reasons to move from one area to the other. One is that when I'm mapping an area, I'm reading a lot about it, so I thought about making dual use of the effort, so to speak. And the other one is that you tend to. I don't want to change things too much, so that way I rather move and learn and explore another area, so I can tweak that a little bit instead of being in one area and tweak it so it becomes completely unrecognizable. So that's the thing. So and also I'm also playing. My time evolves slowly. We basically play every day. So there, and at times they can be like a week of downtime, but normally it's only a day or two, a few days, and then something happens and that the characters need to react to. So therefore, my campaigns can play a year. It can take 5 years or 10. We played 56 sessions when I moved to California in the campaign, and we only advanced a month or 6 weeks or something like that.
So, Big Mac, first question. The Pomage is like sailing near Somalia now. You just don't want to do it, right?
Yep.
So that yes, the answer to that is absolutely yes. That is a problem for any kind of sea route around.
You have the bright desert on the other side, which might not be the best of waters either. So it's kind of a
Yes. So so Patrick, I appreciate that. No, Tim, what year did we do the High Port Adventuring? Was it 80? Oh my gosh, Tim, was it 87? 80. It was after Temple, I think. So I'm thinking it's 87 or 88. So there is not a lot of Pomage. There's the Slavers reference, but Joe Block's article is in Dragon Magazine. There's not a lot of hardcore storyline canon. The Pomage is there. It's just, and everything seems to stay static in all the discussions. I don't know of much going, there's the Pomage took over the whole eastern part of Principality of Ulek, which would never happen because of the Order of Ulek there now. So there's major changes with what happened with us. And that's the cool thing. You get to a point and you start, and then canon gets further and further and further away. And you try and incorporate some things in and some people, but you can't be successful 100% of the time, or you'll erase your own history. So 87, 89-ish. Yeah, I would. So I've never had any adventures in blue, but I wouldn't want to be there. I don't think.
Blue have turned into a Scarlet. That's one of the few areas where Scarlet Brotherhood is actually advancing, because it's a mutual interest. The humanoids want somewhere where they can import stuff from, and the Pomage or Scarlet Brotherhood want to advance somewhere, so to speak, and so Blue is a staging port. So they're basically providing the humanoids with resources, and in return they get to run the city of Blue and use it as a seaport and one of the blockades. So they're still holding on to Scant on the other side of the Garnap, but that's barely, because the people of the Dragonheads Peninsula, the Onwallers, are scaling the walls soon. So they are probably on the last month, maybe a year, they can hold on. And that's why they desperately want to have Blue on the other side, so they have a way to support Scant and try to hold on to it. But sooner or later it's going to be too expensive for them, probably. So they have a mutual interest. The humanoids want to have the Scarlet Brotherhood resources coming in, and the Scarlet Brotherhood still wants to hold on to that as a foreign colony. So right now they're kind of in symbiosis to some degree, but that might change. So yeah.
So for any of you out there not watching the football game, Cleveland is destroying Pittsburgh, according to my wife. So Will is probably very happy, and John is very unhappy from Blue Box, because he's a Pittsburgh fan. I know Will is a Cleveland fan. So very cool. All right. So I did when I first came on streaming, we did the Great Erythnol Mystery Army came out of the Sus and basically attacked Winchester's bulwark, and tied that in. I'm trying to find the map here. We tied that in with the hidden temple of Erythnol, which you can see on this Pomarge map bigger. You can see the purple one all the way directly north of Outpost 1 on the far left. That's where it was placed. It's a really cool adventure. And so I kind of played through all that. They've been mopping up remnants of that army for about a year and a half in game time in the central Pomarge, when they had to flee. They couldn't flee back across the river. So that's kind of played itself out. So I'm about now ready to start some new storylines in the Pomarge, Principality of Ulek area. Now you have all these keeps around, Order of Ulek keeps, Outpost 1, Outpost 2, the White Tower, Warmonger's Tower, Winchester's Bulwark, and Wales Castle to the south. So we're gonna work on developing that. The next adventure, 899, will be with about 4th, 5th level characters in that area. So that will be what we do next there. So I'm happy or surprised. 28-0. Oh, well, that's crazy. So very, very crazy. So as far as ultra mega high level, that's what I'm doing right now in the Shield Lands with 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th level characters. I don't like to do mega high level adventuring all the time, because for you DMs, you know, it's draining. It is tough to to continue to put up high level characters against massive nasty monsters and NPCs. It just is. Scarborough would more like Points of Light thing than 4th edition have. Yeah, and that's another thing. I just, like I said, I don't have anti-differ there. Stay off of my side of the map, Scarlet Brotherhood. That's just the way I look at it.
I have a few, just a few. They've gone south and they have a few staging points, but not anywhere near as much as in I've toned them down, so to speak. They're just one of many evil contenders, and they're not far from the most powerful ones. But each evil big overlord, so to speak, need to have their own speciality, and so their asset is that they have basically enormous amount of troops, and some of them can call in demons and devils or whatever. But the problem is that being evil means that you have more enemies than you have friends. So that means that they compete with each other most of the time, and also that it's sometimes hard to do the foreign connections. And also that they are not good at extracting resources and run organizations like mines and all sorts of stuff. And few people want to do trade with them. So that means that they have to plunder in order to get resources. And that works well until the enemy don't like you enough that they kind of put up a good fight. Then all of a sudden, like he has economic issues because he's starting to have to start to pay his troops in order to be loyal, before he could just plunder, and when he can't plunder that much anymore, then it becomes tougher for him. So
That is definitely true, and it
Yep.
seems to be it seems to be like when Rome expanded a certain point, then they can't. There's nothing else to plunder. That's when
Yeah,
things start
exactly.
going
And all the
wrong.
neighbors know
Yeah.
what they're up to. So then it becomes much more expensive. You have to actually run the state rather than just live off plundering your neighbors.
All right, so we're at 9:20 here, and we'll do some
Yeah.
shout outs, but let's talk about Underdark Uprising and Gary Con.
Yeah.
So I'm really, now that Carlos is done, and what a fantastic fundraiser that Carlos put together, and some
Yes.
crazy DMing, and just he's probably still recovering.
Mhm.
Last year, the second annual fundraiser, we raised $2,520, and we had 5 streams in one day, and that started at 8 a.m. This year, because we have so many participants, we have 2 days, 2 full days, and here is the schedule. Also, we have 3 major sponsors now. So Reaper is sponsoring Troller Games and Stratagem/Wiz Dice. Each of them are giving me the equivalent of $200 in giveaway items, complimentary gifts for donators for this. That is more already than we had last year. Casey Brown has given me 20 of his Bandit Kingdom books. Your friend Nagoya Joe, Anna, has given me the prints he's doing.
Those
Okay.
wood prints, yeah.
Yes, the wood prints. George Lexfire is giving me a craft he's doing. Canadian Gamer is giving me books. He's submitting reprints. I got 2 of them already. So everyone's being very generous for this. We're going to have a ton of items to give away for this. So it'll start at 8 a.m. on Friday. It'll all be sent through Tiltify, which makes it easy. Yeah, absolutely, Mac. I mean, and he's custom signed every one of them. I already have them downstairs. I already have the box. So is the schedule posted and pinned in the Discord? Right. So it needs to. I will put the posts in, and Josh can pin them up wherever he wants. How's that sound to make sure? Now that we're basically pretty much official on everything here. So 8 o'clock, Wally Hobbit. 12. These are Eastern times, everyone. 12 noon, Praetor's Rejects. 4 o'clock, Troller Games with the owner, Stephen Chenault. And Blue Box at 8 p.m., John Birchfield finishing up. Some of these streams may have signups, or may have people that they're looking for to play in these games. So if you, as a channel you like, you should reach out to them, okay, and say, hey, I love to play in your game to participate in this. All right, day 2. Now there'll be a gap from when John finishes around midnight, unfortunately, to 4 a.m., where the ever mysterious Tim, and I know Gaetano and Prometheus are playing in his, so I think he needs at least one more person, and that's 4 a.m. It'll be on Lord Gazumba. Then Carlos is at 8. Carlos says he has a great game coming for this. Wicked Studios at noon, Nightheart Gaming at 4, and then I finish up it at 8 p.m. and Eric Mona is committed to playing in this, so it'll be pretty cool. We'll be using Tiltify, just like John did for that quickie fundraiser he did, and that's a donation system. I think you can pay via PayPal or credit card through Tiltify. There's a way we'll have it set up so it'll have a running total, and it'll be pretty easy to do. So that's what's happening for Underdark Uprising. All the monies go to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I'm going to shoot for the stars, and I'm going to say let's double last year's total, and let's shoot for $5,000. That's what I'd love to see. So, note that Tim needs at least one more sign up. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, so maybe one of your UK people can handle that. But I am pretty filled with my last person that I got today. I'm pretty filled. I may have more. I may have 1 or 2 more than I should, but I don't care. It's a one-shotter, right? But a lot of these channels are going to need players, so and it's not a sign up through GaryCon. So that is the 19th and 20th of February, and I probably won't have a vid like I did last year. It's just there's not enough time, and I don't want to blow $500 on a videographer for it either. So I'll have all the bells and whistles of the banners and stuff, but we'll do the best we can on that. All right, and then GaryCon comes in March. Here's the schedule. I'll just run through this real quick for GaryCon and Virtual Greyhawk Adventures. A lot of people have put games in. Thank you. If you put a game in and you're just RPGing it and not streaming it, you put it under Type 5. If you're streaming it and have signups, you put it under Type 5. But if you have a seminar or a game where you have no signups, you put it under Type 10. And there are 2 adventure types in GaryCon. So cool, Tim. That's awesome. And here's the schedule. I have some very limited open spots. It's 24 hours over the 4 days. And these are all the games that are going on. We even have a New Zealand streamer, Armin, who you may have seen him on a couple times talking at midnight. And these are central times. These are not Eastern. These are central. So everyone who's an Eastern thought, add an hour to this. So Mike Disney starts at 9 Central, not 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Okay, these are central times, which is the same as the con. And look, we got games going on, filled content for the most part. I think I only have 3 open slots in this whole thing for all 4 days. We're completely filled with content. I have some real early morning streams that I may get some Europeans to fill in. And those are the 4 days of content for GaryCon. If you're interested in participating, please reach out to me. I'll say this, if you are a streamer, you have to be an affiliate. We have to set a standard, so you need to be of affiliate status to stream this and be part of that. But you can still RPG and DM. I have no problem with that. Absolutely. Anna, what do you think of both events here?
I think it's so cool. It's like last year, but 4 times the size.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yep.
I'm really looking forward to the fundraiser first. We got to get. I really think there'll be some step up to the community, and we'll go over. We'll have a Gabbin the weekend before it starts to go over all the great things that are possible.
Yeah.
Giveaway gifts from our sponsors. We'll show all that like we did last year. We'll have some special guests.
People from the other channels can come and talk about their games and
absolutely.
Like yeah.
So look for that, Gabbin, at that time. All right. So, am I gonna need a vacation? This is fun, Patrick. I'm having a blast, and the community's making it easy.
Yeah.
So with the community making
shouldn't go anywhere at times like these anyway. So you should stay at home as much as possible. So it fits the times really well.
Absolutely. So Anna, what's going on while I add some more stuff to the scroller here?
Yeah, it's actually a bunch. I just put an hour ago. I posted on my Patreon blog a first glimpse, a setup at how it's to start mapping the Flannies or the whole planet potentially to map Greyhawk all over again. It's with using modern day tools requires a hell of a lot of setup, so to speak. I'm sorry for the language, but it's a huge undertaking that will probably work on for the next 10 years. So to get it right and to set it up properly. So there is an explanation and a few screenshots on the considerations and the technical setup for it. And then I will go into probably about every week or so, I will go into each of the components. This is just a kind of overview of the different considerations and how the bits and pieces were put together and the big overview of it. And then I will dig into each of these with all the considerations that comes with each of the bits and parts. So that's one of the things. So the Greyhawk mapping 2.0 project is really underway, and the first results look kind of really good. There's so far only elevation colors with blue lines and lakes and rivers and stuff on it, but it's going to be awesome when it's starting to get in there. I've done a few test runs on the terrain I did doing for my my Shieldlands campaign. So I'm actually taking that terrain and import it into what will be the live map coming down, so to speak, with a few adjustments and stuff. So my players will have a couple of little inconsistencies because their experience in the game might not match the final map exactly in a few places we might have, but I'm trying to make it match, which is another test of it, because I need to be able to import terrain into the process too. So that's one of the things that going on. The other one is that I also posted the third map of my plus 150% series. So if you want to print in 24 by 36 on basically any type of printer, you can go to a store somewhere or something you can print. So I'm going to post another one in a couple of days. So roughly one every week. There will be a new area. That will be so you can post on Canvas or whatever, because everything is 50% larger. So even the small text is easily readable, so to speak. So it's a little bit of tweak, but that's one way of making printing easier. And then I'm also going to buy myself a document scanner so I can go through all of Linda Kafka's stuff. So I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to see what kind of scanner to get, so I can sit here and take an hour a day and simply feed that thing and put it in Evernote or something, so I can get it indexed and all that, and get it, so we can convert it to PDFs, JPEGs, or PNG, or whatever format might work. So we have that material. So that will probably take a month or two to go through, because there are thousands of pages to scan. So I need a document scanner so I can feed. At first I was thinking I could use my cell phone or DSLR or something like that, but I realized that will take forever. So I need to get a document scanner and feed that into. So that is a purchasing project that I'm going to do this upcoming week, and start figuring out how to do that. So hopefully the plan is that I hope to be able to start scanning documents within a week or so, and that way we also have to interact with the group that is already doing things with lens material, so we can coordinate things, see how we can publish it, where we can publish it, and stuff like that. So that is being worked on as well. So, and then there will be more the symbol upgrades, because the symbols have been around for on my map for 20 years. So I had the first revision of my map symbols on my Patreon blog like a week ago. So I'm digging into the rest of them. And the reason I want to upgrade the symbols is that I need to make SVG versions, because I'm putting my maps into GIS, Geographical Information System. So the current Flanneys map data will be inserted into GIS, and then I need clean SVG symbols. And there's some of them that I don't like that much. So no major changes. They will, if you know the existing symbols, you will recognize the new ones right away. They're just tiny refinements here and there, and a few of them I will change a little bit. And there might be some symbols to add and stuff too. So that's another thing that is going on. And then it will be start the GIS procedure, but I will probably not do that. It will probably wait until March or April or something until I dig into that. And as soon as I have the setup ready to actually start proceeding and creating terrain for the new generation of Greyhawk maps, I will start digging into Lendor Isles. Probably in a month or so, I will start digging into Lendor Isles.
Nice.
So that is yep.
What a busy year already.
Oh yeah, it's a very busy year. Yeah. I know I can use, actually my husband Mike, he has a printer with a scanner, but I want to have one where I can feed them more easy, so to speak. When you start having hundreds and maybe even thousands of them, I want a dedicated scanner, and especially one that I can feed straight into my Evernote account is probably the easiest way to, because then we can make it search and sortable, and then export things from there. So yeah.
And
a
lot of people ask, why do you have all the binders with all this stuff in there? We got to remember, OCR software was crap when it first came out, and it just was not good. And especially for proper names and stuff, like Mordenkainen, forget it. It wasn't scanning Mordenkainen properly. You know, it took forever more. You were better retyping it back then, but now it's a little different.
Yeah. And
so.
also we have, I have reminded Wolfgang once, and I need to remind him again.
Yeah, Big
and
Alf.
So we can get some of the, so we can go. So
You're owed that book, Big Alf. Absolutely, that's the one thing. I did not get the Thursday night game stuff out because I was so busy with work Friday. So I have the stuff from Thursday, and from Saturday, and from tonight. So I will get that all out when we do the giveaways tonight, which is very shortly. So, well, Anna, thanks for figuring out that it was an NVIDIA driver that messed
Oh
up.
yeah,
That was
yeah. A
bizarre.
quick Google search and
Yeah.
it's my new. I upgraded my NVIDIA drivers yesterday, and that screwed up the video exports for some reason.
Very crazy. All right, so this is what's going on. Daniel Boggs, who's Alderon 2UC2 in chat. If you've seen him, Blackmore on Wednesday night. Well, I'm going to be sitting here just listening because I know nothing other than some minor discussions that there's the egg of Coot is there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Blackmore, so I will try to. I will try to have some maps and maybe some references, but other than that, I'm just going to be listening in on this one. So
yeah, I have, and I think he has more than I do, but I have some maps and stuff that people have sent me of Arneson's campaign back in the day and stuff like that.
Very cool. So I'm looking forward to this Legends and Lore on Wednesday, and that'll be and we'll do Blackmore that day, and Thursday we'll continue Trials of the Legion Part 5. And that'll be, the combat. We're right in the middle of the massive combat here, and one Barnhart is there. The second one has not showed up yet, and some of you really nasties have not shown up yet to this fight. And will they get a Santher to where she needs to go beyond the mists of the behind the ruins of the Gradivus Manor House, and that's where. The mists are, and we'll see where that goes on Thursday. I only got 3 streams this upcoming week. That's, and then let's hope this happens. All right, Eric Boyd. If not, I will have an alternate one for this week. Let's just hope that Eric Boyd comes on. He hasn't 100% confirmed yet, but it was either this week or next week, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So right now, we're just going to be wishful thinking that Eric will be on next week as a special guest, and we'll talk about it. He does a lot of stuff with deities, and that's why I'm going to hope for the best on that. But the Sunday after is 100% etched in stone, and that is the big one. And I got Eric Mengi, Tony, Winslow Brill, Anna, of course, will be on, and Elminster himself, Ed Greenwood, to discuss Dark Elves, everything about Dark Elves. We will have a talk on Greyhawk Dark Elves versus Mac, if you have a link and could give that to me in Discord, that would be great, just so I can take a look. Yes, so Elminster himself and the 3 there. Eric's kind of a both, but he does writing now in Moonshay and for Illustrate, all Forgotten Realms now. So Anna and I will be the Greyhawk end of this discussion, and they will all be the Forgotten Realms end of this discussion. Note the time. An hour later than normal because Ed had a conflict. So we will start at 8:30 Eastern, but Ed will be on at 9 Eastern. Okay, so Anna and I and whoever else come on will be on. Yeah, so yes, you like that there, Frank? Good to see you on, man. So
hey, Frank.
Yes, good to see you there. It'll be it's a big one. It's probably be the biggest one I have. A 2021 person that comes on, Ed Greenwood. And we'll just chat about all you want to know about Dark Elves and the differences. And there's some huge differences between Greyhawk and Forgotten Realms Dark Elves. Huge. We may hear some stories. We may hear some, because we have Ed Greenwood's Drow the Underdark book, which I love. I use that extensively a lot. For my Dark Elves, there's some stuff that's Forgotten Realms based I don't use, but a lot of it in there I do. I think that'll be it. Let's do these giveaways. Everyone signed up? All right, so we're gonna do the Troller Games last ones for these special Troller Games ones, and see who wins it, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. Okay, so which version is better looking? I don't know about that, Tim. We ask those kind of questions. My guess is the Forgotten Realms ones because they're more in R.A. Salvatore novels, right? And they always seem to be all his family, Drizzt family, all seem to be very nasty and attractive female dark elves, and his father Zaknafine was too. So who knows? So, hey, Rich, good to see you on, man. All right. Going to close this out. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Well, Hannah was green tonight, and that was interesting. So
Yeah, I
please
was
note
green
that
for the first 20 minutes.
please note that NVIDIA has a weird glitch in the latest driver that can
Yeah,
turn you
so
green.
turn off the
in Zoom.
hardware acceleration in Zoom, and it should work.
Very
again.
crazy. All right,
Yep.
let me shut this out here. Dun, dun, dun. Alrighty. Yeah, it's okay. Quiet's good sometimes.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with being
Okay,
quiet.
Rich. Yep.
First winner tonight is Will's having that issue. I'll talk to him. Asher, the bear. You are on a roll, man. Asher, have I? So the question is, Asher, did I give you a Trollord game gift certificate over the holidays or not? Can you let me know? Did I give you did you win one of those? I used one on Gaxmore. Okay. You used it on Gaxmore. So, very kind of you. Romans 44. I know you didn't get one. There you go, Romans. You got it. Romans 44. All right. Awesome. Oh, that was nice, man. Giving that to Rich. Okay, one more, and I got a surprise for sure. So, who did that? Was kind enough to do that. Greg, did I get you? Got one too, didn't you? You guys are all the same people winning. This thing looks like it's rigged. Or was that Greg? Did you get a Illustrin? Did you get a Troller Games gift certificate over the holidays? Illustrian, Greg, I know you're there. Okay. I don't know if Greg's on. Maybe Greg hopped off. Okay. Well, sure. I'm sending you. I only have a 2XL or an L, and it's since you gave it back, you are getting one of the new Lord Gazumba T-shirts. So tell me there with our great model Nadine. So tell me L or 2XL. I don't have any XLs left. So yes, 2XL or L. Just let me know out of those two sizes. Hopefully one of them fits you. So you are lucky, but that's cool. That's part of being a follower there. Nadine is not included. No, you cannot do that. I'm trying to get Nadine to play in a game, but she's like, I don't do that geek stuff. But so Osfag, okay, well, hold off on Greg. I'll work something out for you too. 2XL. There you go. All right, cool. I share 2XL. So you hang in there, Greg. I'll get you covered too, and I'll send the other one to Romans. And thanks. And let's raid. Who do you want to raid into tonight? Whew. Yep, I'm working on something with Troller Games to have a merchandise store set up. Okay, so please hang in there. We're getting close to having that happen. So, yeah. Let's do 2XL robot Sorrows. All right, we'll do Sorrows. Sure, why not? We're gonna raid into Sorrows Tale. Thanks for hanging in there and persevering early on. I was a little frazzled with it. I'm like, she's green.
All the video issues. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. But we'll see you. Don't forget Tuesday night, 6:00 p.m. Eastern. I will be co-DMing, and he's DMing. He just wants me for descriptive parts where he can't do in my campaign. But I am co-DMing with John at Blue Box on the Blue Box Greyhawk Awakening this Tuesday, and you'll get to see some of the canon Order of Ulek campaign, if there's such a thing, characters I'll be playing, and there'll be some neat tie-ins. And thank you all so very much, and we'll be talking to you soon. And now let's see if I can hit the right button here, Anna.
Yep.
Can I hit the right button here? All right. See you Tuesday night. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, setting up the raid.
Yeah, I have to go Cloud Kill on purpose next time. Yep.
Raid it in.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Well, this will increase his viewership on this by almost 5 to 6 times. So thank you all for being so kind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you soon. Well, I'm glad that Tim and Alan hopped on. They helped us figure out that
exactly.
it was,
Yeah.
there was some
So it was their
bizarrety.
help